All right, we are joined today by my good friend Jonathan Rose. Now, those who have seen Jonathan in the past, you know that he is the expert, the guy he's been on Forbes, Fox, everywhere else. They always call on him to talk about everything that has to do with gold and silver. But he's also more recently, ever since President Trump was elected, he has taken the plunge into a separate way for people to protect their retirement, protect their life savings, and I'll have him talk about that too. But first and foremost, Jonathan Rose, CEO of Genesis Gold Group. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm very good, JD. Thank you for having me back on. It's been a minute, and I know a lot's been happening in the news and the economy, so a lot of ground to cover probably in a short period of time with you today.
Yeah, no, I've only got, I think, let's see, I've got 6 hours, so we're gonna have to really. Okay. Yeah, Jonathan's heart just stopped. No, we can, I think we can squeeze it all in. But let's talk first and foremost about the economy. We've got President Trump. Of course, he just gave his it wasn't really a State of the Union technically speaking, but it was a joint speech about amongst other things about his plans for the economy, his plans to bring back prosperity into the United States of America after 4 years of horrid fiscal policies by Joe Biden. What are you seeing? So we've talked about tariffs in the past. We've talked about all the various things that he's trying to do. What keeps you up at night, not just for yourself, but more importantly for your clients? What is making you squirm, so to speak?
Well, I squirm definitely under the past administration's fiscal policy or lack of it, as that's coming to light especially by the Doge task force, right? In terms of President Trump talking about prosperity for our great nation, it's definitely on the cards. I think he's made it very evident and very clear that we're going to be experiencing some short-term pain, even mid-term pain. But the long-term outcome can only be one answer for America, and that's make America great again. And obviously, by doing so, we are making some, dare say the word, radical changes because the ideas aren't radical, but in order to kind of push that first domino and have that cascading effect, there's definitely going to be some twists and turns before we get to the finish line, so to speak. So obviously, putting on tariffs, something people have been talking a lot about with other nations, tariffs wars. Look, at the end of the day, he's revolutionizing how money should be coming to the US and not being outflowed to other countries. In terms of tariffs on Canada, Mexico, for example, look, we don't really care. I wouldn't say we don't care about those guys, but we don't really. It's not the tariff wars aren't going to affect us like it's going to affect them. The gross GDP of what they're providing to America is like it's like the low 2% versus the other way around. We actually compound to over 20 to 30% of their GDP exports. It's not like we are purchasing Canadian cars, right? When it comes to lumber, we have our own forests, as President Trump said. So these tariff wars, yes, it's going to raise prices. Yes, it's going to hurt the retail investor because we've seen some seasonal changes happen already to the stock market. And unfortunately, those people who have IRAs and 401ks, we're going to be the ones who are taking the losses on there. But the ultimate goal is to bring jobs and companies back to the US. And that's going to fuel the economy by obviously creating more jobs and more money staying here in the US and not going out of the country. So the idea is sound. Getting there is like a cruise ship that's turning around. It's going to take quite a long time. And the pain points we're going to experience along the way, President Trump's made it very evident that be prepared for pain, but we are going to stay the course. It's almost like that tough upper British slip from Winston Churchill. We're going to stay the course. So during that time, we will see some big market volatility. And that's what's keeping me up at night, to making sure you're not, being an ostrich, bury your head in the sand and not understanding what's happening. President Trump has really given us the plan. He's given us the roadmap. And you can sit on the sidelines and wave this volatility, ride it, or you can actually do something about it. And if you look at some of the other big financial names out there, Warren Buffett, other famed traders, top economists, if you look at their strategic portfolios, they're not buying stocks right now. In fact, they're sitting in cash. Even Warren Buffett, who last year was selling, copious amounts of Bank of America, Apple stock, he's now even selling ETF shorts in the S&P. So when you hear of someone selling S&P ETFs, that means that they are expecting the market to go down. So you don't want to be in an IRA or 401k and have nothing in your retirement account that's going to protect you. So again, this is why I've been a big advocate for gold. Now, gold's been on a tear along with silver the past year. The prices have rocketed up nearly 50%. And my own personal opinion on that is it will continue to be very bullish under the Trump presidency. And when people say to me like, oh, gold's going to double again, let's pile into gold, I almost have to stop them and say, that's not why we do this. We're buying gold today for 6 to 12 months down the road. We're looking preservation. We're looking at safety and security. Everything that's going on that's going to currently happen under the Trump administration, that's a byproduct for the prices to continue to rise. But you want to have something in your portfolio that's tangible and is going to be a safety net for all the craziness that we're about to experience here in the next 6 to 12 to 18 months. And that, my friend, is the yellow metal, as you know, that I'm a huge advocate about, which, the yellow shiny stuff. I don't have any in front of me, but if I did, I'd hold it up and say, here's a gold bar. Maybe you have some, so you look in, maybe you have your silver stash. No silver coins. Okay.
No,
We'll let
no.
it slide today, but gold and silver is obviously I'm very bullish on it, and that's not going to change, anytime soon.
No, I don't think it will. But I'm still curious as to why that is. Before the election, when there was still a little bit of concern, maybe it would be a Kamala Harris White House, or
Mm.
whatever. We saw gold and silver prices skyrocket. Once the election happened, the anticipation, what a lot of the talking head economists, I refer to them as talking head economists because they're usually wrong, but what a lot of them were saying is like stock market is going to go up because of Trump and gold and silver are going to go down. Well, as we've seen since both the election as well as his inauguration, stock prices have stayed pretty much level. I mean, I think it's either up or down like a half a point compared to where it was when he was elected, where it was on his inauguration, and where it is today. Whereas gold and silver have both gone up. Now, runs contrary to what a lot of them were telling us. My question for you is, how did everybody get it so wrong? When I say everybody, I'm talking about the experts that were saying that Trump's victory would mean the stock market would skyrocket and gold and silver would flatten.
Yeah, there's a lot of opinions out there, and it's almost heads or tails. And if you say you get it right, look how great I am. I never try and get into the weeds about the day-to-day prices of precious metals or even stocks for that matter. I always look at 3 to 5 year windows, because if you're looking at today and tomorrow, first of all, you're going to drive yourself absolutely balmy, right? By just like, being a slave to your phone, looking every second. Is it up? Is it down? Is it left? Is it right? But you want to look at long-term trends, and 3 to 5 year windows is kind of my kind of barometer of how any market does. You want to have something with a track record, and you talk about track record, and you look at gold. It does what it says on the tin, right? It protects against inflation. We know we're going to have a lot of that. Protects against market instability. We know we're also going to have a lot of that. And protects from currency devaluations. Well, we could have a lot more of that, and talk about Fort Knox and gold not being there. That's a whole nother story, but we could have a currency devaluation. So I think when people are getting it wrong, you just have to go back to basic economics, look at what happened to assets such as gold under the Trump presidency, which did very, very well, by the way. It's just investor sentiment that when President Trump got in, that fear immediately went away. And people thought, well, he's here, he's going to save us. Look, investments don't go up in a straight line. There's two steps forward, one step backwards, and that's with a lot of investments that are out there. But if you look at history, you look at timetables, you look at supply and demand, you look at statistics, you look at what the Federal Reserve are doing. There's many economic indicators that are always going to point towards of having a balanced portfolio that's going to offer you safety and security, and that's gold and silver. Currently, you've got big banks, JP Morgan, they're flying over Boeing 747 cargo planes full of gold. And now, why all of a sudden are they doing this? Well, if you look at the fear index, the retail market hasn't really caught on in terms of the fear. They're okay, but that sentiment's beginning to change. The fear index is being really risen by these banks and the central banks. They're buying gold. I can't even say by the truckloads anymore, by the cargo airloads. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I was looking at some charts the other day. More gold is being purchased right now than there's ever been before in history. And there's a reason for that. Maybe a reason that's not making front page news every single day, but there's a reason that these banks know, what these big banks know that we don't know, that I think is coming down the pike, and they're preparing for that. And I tell my retail investors, you should be doing exactly the same thing.
Absolutely, 100%. For the last, we've had 3 years with an average of over 1,000 tons of gold being purchased by central banks. And January was another month of massive central bank purchasing of physical gold. Like I tell people all the time, oh, you can't trust the central banks. I agree, but that doesn't mean you don't want to listen to them. You might not trust Nancy Pelosi, but I guarantee you this: if she gives you a stock tip, you better take it because it's probably right. If the central bank's buying gold and silver, they know something that we don't know. And I know something that a lot of people do need to know. They need to go to genesisgoldgroup.com or call 800-200-GOLD, genesisgoldgroup.com, or 800-200-4653 to learn what Jonathan and his team can do for you. Now, we've talked about before. You and I have talked ad nauseum about how gold and silver makes a lot of sense. It's safe. It's the hedge. It's the higher ground. But generally speaking, it's not like, oh my gosh, buy gold now so that I can take my retirement and double it or triple it or whatever over a short period of time. That's not the intention. The intention is to play it safe, to play it smart. But there are ways that people could take their retirement savings and get more aggressive, perhaps try to turn in some serious gains, perhaps try to turn it into some serious wealth. And this is where I believe your other company, Block Trust IRA, comes into play. Why don't you tell us what you're doing over there with Block Trust IRA?
Well, absolutely. Well, it's no secret by now that President Trump is at the forefront of the crypto revolution, essentially. And just a couple of weeks ago, I was even telling a lot of our retail investors that later on during the year, my guesstimate was maybe by September, President Trump would even announce that expect the US to adopt a US crypto reserve. And I was very wrong. It happened a lot quicker. And it actually happened on a Sunday when my phone started buzzing and you see the headlines. And a lot of people have asked me, is cryptocurrency a good investment? Now, I got involved in cryptocurrency back in 2015. And if you've never heard me talk before, just very quickly, I worked for Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, worked on the London Metal Exchange. I grew up in finance. So when I first heard about cryptocurrencies, like most people, I was very, very skeptical. And when I got involved in cryptocurrencies in 2015, I actually dabbled in it. I made money and I got out of it. Now, you may say, well, you got out of it. Why would you do that if you're making money? Because I had a hard time in believing the whole concept and it being mass adopted. Well, fast forward to today, obviously the cryptocurrency market hasn't gone anywhere. In fact, it's gone from strength to strength, and not just strength to strength, where they started passing bills on local state levels to add assets like Bitcoin to local state treasuries. Utah passed a bill, Arizona passed a bill. So we know under the Trump administration that crypto, as President Trump put it, America was going to become the US crypto capital of the world. And we are. And this is just so evident by the fact that he's already talking about creating a crypto reserve. What does that even mean? So it basically means that the US Treasury, that hold many different assets, with gold actually being the number one asset on their balance sheet, they want to now adopt and add assets like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to this asset sheet. This is huge news. Why is it huge news? Because it means crypto is here to stay. And the crypto revolution, as I call it, is really experienced major momentum where people are still wanting to know, well, how do I even invest in cryptocurrency? How do I do this? So this is why we created Block Trust IRA, is so that people can invest safely and securely retirement accounts like IRAs, 401ks, even government TSP plans, and even let people who don't have IRAs, just cash savings in a bank making 0%, and they want to get in on this whole crypto action under President Trump. Now, Block Trust IRA doesn't just let people purchase cryptocurrencies safely and securely, because the next question that I'm always asked is, well, isn't cryptocurrency volatile? Doesn't it have big price increases and then huge price drops? And I say, yes, absolutely. Cryptocurrency is very volatile. And that's kind of, not for the faint of hearted. So a lot of people haven't participated up until now, because Block Trust IRA has actually partnered with a company called Animus Technologies. And Animus Technologies has AI tech. Now, this doesn't mean that artificial intelligence is just running your whole life and your investments for you. But the AI tech, what it does, it's so smart, it's so clever, is that it identifies the time you want to be buying in and liquidates you at what they feel is the top of that position and puts you back into cash. So when it feels that the market's going to drop, it keeps you out of that downward cycle, and then buys back in when it feels like it's a good buying opportunity. So basically what our AI tech does is it gives signals and it helps people identify tops and bottoms and when to buy and when to sell. And it does it all automatically for you. Now, why is this important? This is kind of the golden rule here, why this is important. When you invest in stocks and you have a financial advisor, that financial advisor is trading these stocks probably around the bell, opening bell, closing bell. Okay. And he goes home, he goes to sleep. Cryptocurrency, JD, does not sleep. It's traded 24/7, 365. And in fact, there's been many times in this market when we've been asleep, something's happened, Trump signed an executive order, you could have China invading Taiwan, who knows what's going to happen next. And the market is going to react pretty violently. Now, that violent reaction could be a good thing, it could be a negative action, but you want to have the ability to take advantage of these volatility swings, because in the past, when you buy cryptocurrency, there's only one strategy available, and that's a buy and hold strategy. And with a buy and hold strategy, you buy it, and when you go to sell it, hopefully it's worth more than when you bought it for. But wouldn't it be amazing if there was almost like a guardian angel watching over your investments, so that when you sleep, it's helping you sell at the right time and buy back in at the right time? Well, that's exactly what this strategy does with Animus Technologies, that's exclusively available through Block Trust IRA. And it's an award-winning strategy. This isn't something that's just been invented overnight. It has a 7-year track record. And the strategy was actually recognized by Bitcoin Magazine as the #1 Bitcoin trading strategy. And if you know nothing about cryptocurrency and you start doing your research, you'll find that there's one periodical, there's like one kind of place where you're going to go and get the best information out there, and that's Bitcoin Magazine. So for them to award this AI tech the #1 trading strategy is amazing. And the CEO, Max Pace, we have to have him on your show one day, JD. But the Max who runs this tech has only ever been working with hedge funds, institutional investors. So what we were able to do with our obviously background in retirement accounts, specifically in precious metals, is we were able to bring this tech to the retail investors. So we've provided them with a safe and secure platform through Block Trust IRA to invest in cryptocurrencies. And then we're providing them with a strategic tool that's going to monitor their account 24/7, 365, that has proven to beat the benchmark. And what does that mean, beat the benchmark? Well, if you would have had a traditional buy and hold strategy with Bitcoin since 2022 till today, it would be up roughly 425%. Obviously, fantastic numbers. But had you have had the Animus strategies buy and hold, you would have been up over 625%, an extra 200% on top of the buy and hold strategy. Not that we're trying to be greedy, but really the whole point of this strategy is to mitigate downside risk. So when people get scared of the volatility, now the volatility is our friend. So again, if they have retirement accounts and they want to invest or learn more about cryptocurrencies, they can do so very safely and securely with Block Trust IRA, and they'll be able to access these technologies through Animus, this AI trading tool that will really help mitigate downside risk and beat the benchmark of these old-fashioned buy and hold strategies. And let me say something, JD, these buy and hold strategies, they don't work anymore. And a very good case study of this is just last week. Bitcoin has had a pretty great run, going into President Trump inauguration. But what comes up must come down. So our AI tech identified a market happening, which basically liquidated everyone's position at 1:38 in the morning. I was still sleeping. I hadn't even woken up, had an espresso yet. So the AI tech does its job. You have to manage cryptocurrency 24/7, 365. A broker can't do this. I used to be a trader, JD. Like I said, I worked for Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley. I've run small hedge funds. The AI tech that's out today, it would take like probably 100 of me to calculate something in a computing level and spit out a result. It does this instantly. And it's funny, I was speaking to Max, who runs Animus, and they have all these servers around the world, and they're using so much server space. They told me they had 2 servers identifying data, collecting data. They have 2 servers in Ireland, and they actually got a letter from the government of Ireland saying, "Hey, what are you guys doing? You're crunching more data than any other company in Ireland. What is it that you do?" And that's exactly what they do. They crunch data. They take millions of data points. It could be from social media, Twitter, what's happening in the economy, the federal rate interest, benchmarks around the world, instability, forecasts. It's taking everything, all this information, and it's spitting out signals. And then that is how they're able to make these high level decisions on when to purchase an asset like Bitcoin and sell it. And that's kind of their real secret sauce, is their AI technology. They are head and shoulders above many other funds out there trying to even replicate what they're doing. That's why they work with hedge funds, and we've been able to bring this tech to the masses through retail investments now, where people can invest in cryptocurrencies safely and securely and have it managed 24/7. And it really is groundbreaking and revolutionary, because there's nothing like it on the market. So I'm super excited, as you could probably tell by this, because there's nothing else there like that. And people are sick and tired of the old buy and hold strategy, because if you can have something manage your account, that's how you win. That's how you get ahead. The next 4 or 5 years, especially under Trump, what we're seeing right now is the biggest transfer in wealth in history that's happening in this space. And trust me, folks, you don't want to be left behind.
Wow. Very cool. So let me make sure I'm going to recap, because you said a lot of information there. And I'm going to recap the most important part only, because I think that just in case anybody missed it, it's AI driven, but it's still powered by people. People are still making decisions. It's just the data, the information is coming through artificial intelligence and helping to make these decisions at 1:38 in the morning on, say, February 24th, when Bitcoin is at 96,000. It says, "Hey, we're seeing signals that maybe there's going to be a big drop here soon. You should probably change your position to cash." And then the drop happens. It ends up dropping down to like 70 something thousand over a period of 4 days. Animus through Block Trust IRA comes out and says, "Okay, now's the time to buy." So we sold at 96, we bought at 79. Everybody involved has made a lot of money. Is that a fair hypothetical assessment?
Yeah, now I feel silly because you just said everything I said in 30 seconds. So yeah, absolutely, you're correct. That's, in the layman terms, that's exactly what it does.
Wow, that's amazing. And you said that It's award winning. You said it was a Bitcoin magazine.
Bitcoin
So they
Magazine.
only so Block Trust only works with Bitcoin. Is that correct, or is that not true?
So the managed accounts with these type of strategies, we work with Bitcoin and Ethereum for the managed accounts. But the platform itself, Block Trust IRA, you can buy up to 60 different cryptocurrencies on there. So besides Bitcoin and Ethereum, XRP is very popular, Solana is very popular, and we'll be applying these strategies to other coins down the road. But the market for Bitcoin and Ethereum so big, it's the safest market to kind of play in the sandbox with, so to speak. But you can purchase over 60 different cryptocurrencies at Block Trust IRA, and again, either purchase them yourself or have Block Trust IRA help you with Animus Technologies strategies.
Got you. Now I've seen other similar plays like this. They usually have like either a 25,000 or $50,000 minimum. Do you guys have a similar minimum?
So to get onto the platform, it's as little as $1,000. So they can, start there. If they want managed accounts, it's $25,000. And something I just mentioned, because since we, started this with Animus, what's been crazy, a couple of things. Our phones have not stopped ringing. And a lot of these calls aren't just coming from America. They're actually coming from London, UK, which is obviously where I'm originally from, not now. I'm speaking to me in Beverly Hills, California. We also get a lot of calls from the Netherlands, Canada, New
Not for
Zealand,
long.
and
Canada will
Australia.
stop
Not
calling
for
now.
long. Yeah. Well, you put that out there now, so probably yes. But
I'm
no,
just teasing.
no, we get a lot of calls, international calls. So this isn't
Oh,
just for
nice.
people in the US. It's not just for people with IRAs. It's for people globally who want access to cryptocurrencies safely and securely, and also want access to managed accounts.
Got you. Well, it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but basically with the managed accounts, people can take their current retirement account, whether it's in an IRA, an old 401k, government accounts, whatever, and rather than sitting around and seeing if the stock market's going to go up or down or whatever, they can hop into the cryptocurrency world, the burgeoning cryptocurrency boom that's happening as a result of President Trump not only endorsing cryptocurrencies, not only pushing for a cryptocurrency reserve for the United States of America, but also the biggest news for me, the thing that got me so interested was the thing that used to scare me before his election. Now it's become a positive. Before I used to think that cryptocurrencies were eventually going to be replaced by central bank digital currencies. Well, he's
Mhm.
outlawed those. So we're good. So everything that I was concerned about before, because I was not very bullish on cryptocurrencies until President Trump came into office, now all of a sudden it's like, hey, everybody just send me a tip in Bitcoin. That'd be great. You don't have to send me one. Just one Bitcoin would be plenty. And I give them my Bitcoin address, and for some reason nobody sent me one yet, but we'll get there. Someday they will. But the point is that this allows people to essentially become or trade like a crypto expert without necessarily being a crypto expert. It's almost like hiring a crypto expert on your behalf. Is that a fair assessment?
It is. And also, I think the most important thing is to become financially independent. And that's why there's a big transfer of wealth coming on, because we've been trained, take your 6 to 11% returns annually, if they're even that, right? Not even keeping pace with inflation. We've been trained by these big banks. And in fact, people have even rolled over IRAs with us, even into crypto. Some of my IRA processors have been telling me they've been helping these clients liquidate these accounts, and they're being charged $35 for each of these positions in their IRA, and they've got over 85 of them. So we get nickeled and dimed, nickeled and dimed. Take it on the chin with these measly returns. These big banks put us into these loans and just burden us with debt. And really, what we have right now is an opportunity to become financially independent under the Trump organization. And he's going to make that happen with the cryptocurrency market. So this is the next boom. If you're not getting involved in the cryptocurrency and you don't have exposure partially to cryptocurrency, in my opinion, you're going to get financially left behind. So, now is the time. Is it too late? Absolutely not. As long as the market remains positive for the crypto and the Trump organization, which it is, you want to have cryptocurrency in your portfolio. You want to be able to purchase it safely and securely, and you need someone, like I said, like a, so to speak, guardian angel to kind of watch this for you 24/7. And we've made this possible, and I'm very proud about it through Block Trust IRA.
That is amazing. And people can go check it out by going to jdrcrypto.com. That's jdrcrypto.com. That will get you connected with Jonathan and his team to help you get going in the crypto world. If you want to get into the gold world, as I mentioned before, genesisgoldgroup.com, 800-200-4653. Or if you want to go with crypto, that's, which to me, I mean, I've heard your pitch on both sides of this. And I know that if I were I don't know, 59, 60 years old, 70 years old, something like that, and I'm not happy with the status of my retirement account, perhaps I'm not thinking that it's big enough, I would probably be going to jdrcrypto.com and at least, very least, finding out what you can do to help make that much bigger. Gold is great for safety and security, but crypto, like you said, it's for financial independence. There have been many, 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 many people across the United States and across the globe who have gone from essentially very little to a whole lot through cryptocurrency. And I think, as you said, that the next big boom could be just around the corner. Jonathan Rose, Block Trust IRA and Genesis Gold Group, the CEO of both. Both have to do with retirement. Both have to do with making America great again and hopping on those coattails and letting President Trump bring us to the financial promised land. My friend, thank you so much. Any closing words before I let you go?
No, I appreciate you having me on. In fact, if they mention your URL, what for your audience, what actually specifically for the crypto, and what was your URL again for?
jdrcrypto.com.
If they come in through jdrcrypto.com, we're that confident that our strategies work, that we are actually offering up to $2,500 in free crypto bonus when they open an account. We're that confident these strategies work. They go to jdrcrypto.com. They'll automatically qualify when they come through that landing page to get a $2,500 funding bonus in crypto through our company.
Cheese and rice. What do I get? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. My audience loves me. They can have all of the bonuses. I just want to help make America stronger again. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for that very generous offer. jdrcrypto.com. Super excited about that. Take care, my friend.
Thank you.